All right. I know that was a little strange having it just stop and then have me walk in, but I wanted to, continue on here. The fact that this information was available on 4chan and that the information was available from videos on site, they're saying that Lord and Taylor, I think that they identified the suspect on Lord and Taylor camera. Understand that just like 9/11, there are security cameras that got this information, okay? But the government steered us into looking at specific things. So for untrained people, you get your attention trained on those things that really are innocuous, that don't mean anything, and you ignore the obvious. The best way to hide something is to put it in plain sight, okay? So what I'm saying is that the government all along, all right, had access to these same videos. Remember how they came out and the FBI said, oh wow, there's just got to be somebody out there who knows something about this. Oh, public, give us your pictures and your videos, help us find these people. They already had the videos. They already had the information. But they're asking you for it to hide it from you in plain sight. Okay, it's real obvious. Pretend like they don't have the information when it was out there. Okay, so the fact of the matter is that they're playing a psyop game with you, and the problem with the FBI, and there's Judge Napolitano talked about this some time ago. The FBI has actually overstepped its authority because, well, Congress has helped it to do that. But where am I going with that? The entire FBI isn't to blame here or a part of it. There is a core operation, okay, that always shows up at these mass shootings, at bombings, etc., that have the requirement. It's a very small unit, but they have the requirement to cover up the government's tracks and to make these things look other than what they are. No DARPA involved, no drugs, the lone wolf scenario, no type of black operation. They always, and that's what they were going to do here. This Patsy, I'm sure, he's probably dead now. They probably hauled him out of that courthouse and probably took him out somewhere and, put a bullet in his head and dumped him somewhere because they need to cover their tracks, and they'll do that. Okay, that's the kind of people we're working with here. But with these other things going on in the government, like I said, this could explode into something a lot worse, especially now. I mean, mainstream media, pulling back and saying, hey, you said you had this guy, now you say you don't, what gives, Remember what I said about the government, in one of my videos here? I said they're incompetent, or they're liars and deceivers, or all of the above. Okay, so that's another aspect of what's going on here that I wanted to cover. So the bottom line is, at this point in time, the Boston Marathon bombing was a false flag conducted by elements of our government. Not everybody in the government's bad, but elements of our government who are seeking power or control over either each other or particularly us, okay? To lock down our people in a police state, all right? That's what this was all about. And hopefully, with us being able to blow this operation over, to uncover it, that it's at least going to slow them down. But make no mistake about it, that is the end game, all right? I wish I could give you the particulars. Unfortunately, I don't have the technical equipment to do what so many other people can do. So that's why I'm telling you to go to Infowars.com. And yes, Alex, he gets, pretty stressed at times. I mean, look at me right now, because, I can see the big picture about what's happening here and the danger we're all in. All right? And I think you know that I've seen this from the beginning. But right now, with that black operation, that false flag, being revealed the way it has been, people will take desperate actions to make sure that, what they've done isn't going to come back on them. So we're all in a lot of danger right now. All right, so I'll leave it at that for right now. I'll probably do another one of these a little later. Like I said, I wish I had the ability to give you all of this on screen so you could see everything that's happening. But I think now with the information that you have, you can go out and look for it on your own. The number one key at this point in time is Infowars.com. Those guys have done a fantastic job. I think also C Green 34 that I've mentioned before, he keeps his eyes open. He's not militarily trained. He doesn't have investigative people working for him that I'm aware of. But from what I've been able to gather from him, he's very good. So C Green 34 would be another place to go. But first, Infowars.com. Okay, and another little piece of information I forgot to bring up. Of course, you probably know this now. A senator and the President Obama, supposedly, the senator I'm sure, received letters with ricin on them, which is, a poison. If you think back to the situation after 9/11, anthrax was released, and they found out after investigating it, they didn't want to, but finally it came out. It came from the bioweapons lab at Fort Detrick, Maryland. The anthrax did. I'm not saying that the ricin came from there, but I think it's a little odd that we've had this situation with North Korea, the situation with the Boston Marathon, the Second Amendment. They're trying to repeal that. They're going after the Bill of Rights, so they have this false flag in Boston and then this ricin showing up in Washington, D.C. So it's a follow-up. All of this is not by accident. These are planned events to try to get you willing to submit to government authority. Okay? They can't protect you. Only you can protect you. The cops aren't going to be there when somebody's breaking through your door. Okay? That's the important thing. All right, I'm sorry, I just had to bring that up real quick. Another update here that CNBC is now saying that they're going to be quiet because they don't want to disrupt the investigation. So that's how they're going to try to cover up this thing. Okay, they were going to bring this suspect out. They got caught in the background in the black operation, the false flag, and so. And make no mistake about it, the authorities went to the media and said, we've got this guy. And then they backed off. Understand that the media, especially CNN and CNBC and some of those, are CIA fronts. They control the media. The FCC, which grants the licenses and all that, is controlled by the CIA. So, in other words, what am I saying here? They're just going to say, oh, we're going to be quiet because we don't want to interfere with the investigation. No, they should investigate this totally, because of what's happened today. And everybody should call up all of these people, your congressmen, your senators, call the White House, call the media, and say, look, it's the media's responsibility under the First Amendment to give us good information. All right, let's straighten this thing out ourselves. Be damned with national security. It doesn't exist at this point. National security is for us, okay? Am I getting impassioned here? This is the fallback position. They got caught, and now they're going to say they're not going to look into it anymore because they might interfere with the investigation. No. The feds and the police came out and said, we have a suspect. And then when this thing came out, they tried to retract it because they knew they got caught. No, the reporters, the journalists should be out there saying, this isn't making any sense, guys. You need to fix this. You need to open up. You need to let us know what's going on here, because I'm going to tell you guys in the federal government, okay, we're going to flood this information on these operatives out everywhere, okay? You liars and deceivers, you demons, killing Americans for your own purposes. Well, killing anybody. The drone strikes where you kill 200 people to get one supposed operative. You guys are just bloodthirsty goons. We're going to spread this information out everywhere. People will see it. And if the Americans don't want to see it and this thing falls apart, American people, this is going to be your fault. It's your fault. If you're going to stay asleep and let these murderous criminals get away with this, then what I said about not worrying about saving the United States is going to hold true. This place just needs to be firebombed because we're not worth it. God help us. I also have to tell you real quick, they'll try to say now that their operatives were there that they had a lot of people there more than usual to try to protect from this type of a thing. What does that tell you? It tells you they can't protect you. If they go with that scenario, that all those guys were there, all those people were there to offer security, does that show you that government can't secure you, that they cannot protect you? And they'll say, oh, well, you know, that's playing into the hands of our enemies. You know, that's part of the terrorist plot to show that the government can't protect you. No, the government is the terrorist, okay? That's what's going on here. And they just proved, no matter what they say on this thing, they proved that they can't do what they say they can do. Not without taking all your rights away or killing you, all right? Okay, just a quick